Hi guys, Daz here to finally reveal mine and Uncanny Ethan's top 25 comic book pickups of 2018. Man, this took some sorting, but we've got a fine selection here of stealth buys, characters that mean things to us, some fantastic AOKs, some signed books, and some big boy books, some valuable books. So let's get into them. Starting with number 25. It's a character that means a great deal to me because I really love the TV show The Gifted. This is pretty low grade, a 2 to a 3. But this is X-Men issue 49, some Silver Age goodness. And this is the first appearance of Polaris. I only paid £10.50 for this, and you can see why. It's got some writing saying Christopher Hurst, so thank you Christopher Hurst for allowing me to get this book so cheap. And of course, Polaris, Laura Dane, is in the Gifted TV show. It's also the first appearance of Mesmero, who's Vincent. That's our 25th book on the list. And the actress who portrays Polaris is going to be Razor in another comic book adaptation. 24 on our list, and a book we never thought we'd have in our family. This is our very first Slabbed book, and this came from an ALK from my very, very good friend Lewis to my boy Uncanny Ethan. This is the CG Signature Series, Phoenix Resurrection, The Return of Jean Grey, issue 1 in a stunning 9.0. This was signed by Matthew Rosenberg just here. So fantastic book, our very first slab, and it is showcased proudly in our display cabinet in the middle room of our house. Thank you for that, pal. Number 23 on our list is a stealth buy, and this was announced as one of my hot comic book alerts. The book blew up to about £100 at one point. It's come back down slightly, but it has been optioned. It is going to stay pricey. From Donny Cates, and everything he touches turns to gold. This is God Country, issue 1. Paid the grand total of £1.67 for this. Went down to Bristol, I knew where one was. This is the first appearance of Emmett Quinlan, and it says Jeff Shaw and Dave Stewart regular cover. Looking forward to see that to make a TV show. Next on our list, we have another ALK from Comic Vantage, and this is a stunning indie book. Is low printed as they get, and you know I love my low printed run books. This is from Everett Hartsoe and his House of Hartsoe. Razor Scars, and it is signed by Everett Hartsoe here. What makes this so fantastic is there were only 10 copies of this book published. I have number 5. It comes with a COA, and it has a metal cover. Unbelievably, a metal cover on that book, and that is stunning. Look at the art on that cover. Beautiful, beautiful book. Up next, number 21 on our list, and this was from November of last year. It is a book that bugged the hell out of me because when it came out, I had it in my hands and I put it back on the shelf, thought it was too pricey, too big, and it is blown up to be probably the book of the year. A constant top 10 book when I do my top 10 lists every Monday. This, I've never seen a book like it, is Batman Damned, issue 1. This is the premiere issue in the DC Black Label launch, which gives established creators creative freedom to explore characters and stories outside of continuity. And this was sold out due to a media uproar over a nudity panel. Yeah, the first Batawang. And this is the uncensored edition. Future prints of this book will be censored. The first Batawang. I paid $45 for this, which I still think is a good price. I was never going to pay over $50. This was one of the, I think this was the only copy at the recent Birmingham Con in November. Number 20 on our list is a fantastic stealth buy, one of my favourites. Again, it's not the highest graded book, but for £1.50, really, New Teen Titans, issue number 2, the first appearance of Deathstroke the Terminator, Slade Wilson, yeah, who was in the Justice League movie right at the end, after the post-credit scene. He was also in the Smallville, Arrow, and Titans TV shows. It's the first appearance of Wintergreen, who was William Randolph Wintergreen, who was in the Arrow TV show. The first appearance of Hive, the Hierarchy of International Vengeance and Eliminations Group. The second appearance and death of Ravager, who was Grant Wilson. Third appearance of Cyborg, Raven, and Starfire. And of course, they're hot from the Titans TV show. but what an epic book in any grade for £1.50. Number 19 on our list is a book I probably overpaid for at the time, but it is still a £40 to £50 book now. This is Totally Awesome Hawk, issue 22. I paid £30 for this copy. It's got one spine tick, so it's probably about a 9.2 in my opinion. But I also found a better copy for £18 at the time. 2 copies of Totally Awesome Hawk, number 22, the first appearance of Weapon H. Of course, Weapon H is Clayton, and it is a cross between Wolverine and the Hulk. Cool book. Still a big one. Another big character to debut this year, in 2018, was from that fantastic Thanos storyline. This is issue 13 of Thanos. This is the first appearance of the Cosmic Ghost Rider, Frank Castle. The character is here to stay. Has his own series now. A bit of a Deadpoolish character. But what's better than one copy? 2 copies. I paid £7.50 for one copy, and the other one I paid for cover price, and then I paid cover price again. So I've got 3 copies for basically cover price. Happy days. That is a £50 book plus now. Up next on our list, some card book Tony Magic, and this is a stunner. And this was for £1, really? High grade Avengers 196. The first full appearance of the Taskmaster. Yeah, this is a pricey book, guys. In high grade, this is high grade. This is a £50 plus book again. This is second appearance, like I said, but this is the first full appearance of the Taskmaster, Anthony Masters, who I believe will be in the MCU at some point. So delighted to get that. Tony strikes again. He's been good to me this year. He gave me another book like Spawn 1 for £1. Didn't quite make the list, but this one did. For £1.31, I overpaid. This is New Gods, issue 7. Another high grade book. The first appearance of the villain from the Justice League movie, Steppenwolf. Delighted, guys, with this grade. This is also the first appearance of Hegra, the first appearance in Death of Avaya, and it has the origin of the New Gods team. I picked up New Gods number 1 this year, last year. That didn't make the grade, the cut, but like I say, there's a New Gods movie on its way. It's also the origin of Orion, who's going to be in that New Gods movie, I believe. Happy to get that. Quite like Steppenwolf. I thought the film was underrated. Justice League. Up next, another ALK from my boy Ethan. Probably one of the best videos that we made last year. Such a buzz to get this book in our family. Something we never dreamt of. Of course, we lost the great man. This is X-Men issue 24. Another fantastic AOK from my good friend Lewis Comic Vantage. And the reason this makes the list is the first appearance and origin of Locust. And the first appearance of Ted Roberts. But it is signed, guys. Look at this. Signed by Stan Lee. Unbelievably. And that was signed in 2002. Fantastic. Stan Lee was the editor on this book. Absolutely stoked we were to get that. Up next is the oldest book on my list. And this was a prize winnings from our great friend Joker68. One of the best guys in our community. I hope you're getting there, my friend. I know you've had your health issues. My thoughts are always with you. This is, like I said, the oldest book in my collection. This is Tales from the Crypt, issue 34. Oh my days, some EC goodness. Books from the golden age, and this is what we're talking, in any grade, are atmospheric. I would put this at about a 2.0. This is the oldest book in my collection. As you see, it is from February of 1953. Sorry about the glare, guys. But Tales from the Crypt. Feel like I'm a collector now. It feels like you've got to have an EC book to really get there, in my opinion. It's got a real good fan base, EC books. I know people like Reaper Tate, they love them. Great one to have. I was stoked to get that. 1953. Up next, a book from probably one of the hottest companies at present, probably the company of the year for me last year. It was a small independent company, and that was Antarctic Press. And this is a title that was blowing up unbelievably. Rags, issue 1. Now this is the real McCoy, not the self-published version. This is, like I say, there's a lot of fake copies out there as such. This is the real McCoy. This is issue 1. This is I paid £35 for this. This is a £50 plus book. This is about a marine that struggles to survive in the midst of a zombie apocalypse. It is brutal, definitely for mature audiences, but a great read. I have the first 3 issues. Delighted to have that, guys. Up next, an artist that really came, probably the artist of the year. Definitely my favourite. You know it by now. This cover was definitely the cover of the year, in my opinion. Just stunning. This is Batgirl 23 from Joshua Middleton. Look at that, guys. You can just gaze upon that, can't you? I got this for cover price. Absolutely delighted. I pre-ordered 2, but of course they wised up because they knew it was going to be a big book, and I only got the 1. But thankfully, I have 1 copy, and it's a nice graded book too. Just stunning. From there, I've started to collect all of Joshua Middleton's work. He, to me, is number 1. Up next, number 11 on our list, is an independent title. And again, I feel like I'm a collector now because I see this in some American collections on videos, but I've never seen this book other than this time I bought it. Now, the same seller had it the previous year when I first saw it, but I waited because I thought I'd see more, but I didn't. The next time I saw it, I grabbed it for £20 from Slave Labour. This is Milk and Cheese, guys. Great stuff. Delighted to get that. I think it's black and white in interior. Again, it's for mature audiences, I believe. I haven't read it yet, but of course I will. But just a novelty book, and I found it and was delighted to add it to the collection. We've made the big top 10. Finally. Oh, some crackers here. Up first, probably one of the hottest books of current, and I got this in March of last year because I knew when the animated film was announced, this character was going to go crazy. I paid just £13.90 for this. This is a nice copy too. This is Ultimate Fallout. Issue 4, of course, the first appearance of Miles Morales, the star of the Spider-Verse film, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Yeah, delighted to get it. Passed on the second copy for 20 recently and regret it. But, you know, not going to be greedy. Delighted to have the first Miles Morales. There is this is the first printing, obviously. There is a second printing with the head unmasked, I believe. You see the head. Talking of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, this was a great book. This, again, the only copy I've ever seen in the UK. This is quite rare, I believe. I paid £45 for this. As soon as my friend Lee said he had a copy, I was down the Antique Centre to pick it up. Love this character Into the Spider-Verse. This is Spider-Man Noir. The first appearance of Spider-Man Noir. Portrayed by Nicolas Cage in the Into the Spider-Verse film. Man, I'd like to see this character in live action. Great character. Who knows? Never know. Nicolas Cage might reprise it in the live action. That would be cool. But a great read. Enjoyed that book. Spider-Man Noir. That's a £100 plus book now. What have we got to now? We are at number 8 on our list. And we're sticking with Spider-Man. This is a book I saw as soon as I arrived at the Collectomania 25. And at the time, it was the most I'd ever paid for a book in one hit, and it scared the living daylights out of me, but I had to have it. Because I knew, again, this character was appearing in the Venom film. Yeah, you probably guessed it. Amazing Spider-Man 361. This is a high-grade book. Boy, it's high-grade. And this is the first appearance and origin of Carnage, Cletus Kasady, who's obviously in the Venom movie, right at the end, post-credits, played by Woody Harrelson, who will be reprising the role in the sequel. This is the second overall appearance of Carnage, as he had a one-page panel, one-panel cameo in the previous issue. But this is the money book, guys. First full Carnage. Number 7 on our list is just a striking DC Silver Age book. I love this series of Showcase. And I only paid £23.83 for this. And I think I've got an absolute steal because this is pretty high grade. Showcase issue 55. I've stuck it in some Mylar that Vantage sent across. This is the first Silver Age appearance of the Golden Age, Solomon Grundy. Yeah, Cyrus Gold. And he first appeared in the Legends of the Superheroes TV show, then Smallville, Arrow, and most recently Butch portrayed him in Gotham. It's also the first Silver Age appearance of the Golden Age Green Lantern, Alan Scott. This book is high grade, guys. But when I say high grade, like I say, it's got a bit of spine wear here, but this is a probably, I don't know, mid-grade 5. The colours are striking. I love the purple. Great issue. Number 7 on our list, again at the time, was the most I'd ever spent on a book. And that was £43.95. I ordered this online from Oxfam, of all places. It is a big premiere issue too, from Marvel Comics. Incredible Hulk, issue 102. Yes, this is one of Marvel's big premiere issues of 1968. And the titled series starts again. Like I say, it was my record purchase at the time. Brilliant stuff. The first book of the second volume of Incredible Hulk. Like I said, my friend Lee at the Antique Centre has issue 1 of The Incredible Hulk from the very first series. Unbelievable. This one makes the list. This is the most I've ever spent in one hit. This cost me £70 at the GloucesterCon, and the GloucesterCon wasn't great for comics, but I was delighted to add this to the collection. High grade. It has a TV series out there. It's not for everyone, but it has its moments. I quite enjoy it at times. This is Preacher #1 from Vertigo. Delighted to add that one to the collection, guys. First appearance of Jesse Custer. First appearance of Poinsettias Cassidy. First appearance of Saint of Killers and Tulip O'Hare. All are in the Preacher TV show, other than Tulip. So great one to have. It was a book I always wanted, and delighted to add it. Into my top four books. And this was a fantastic stealth buy. I was delighted to get this. I couldn't believe it. It was one of those surreal moments. You walk into your LCS, you see it on the shelf. You think, wait a minute, is that supposed to be there? Because I've seen these kind of covers before. And I actually left it there. I went back to the car. I just thought, wait a minute. And I Googled it and I couldn't believe what it was going for. £200 plus. Now this book is still going close to £100. I paid £4 for it. £4. My number 4 book, Justice League 8. The incredible 1 in 100 Jim Lee pencils only incentive cover. Love it. It's got the new origin of Starman in this, and his first mention of Perpetua. But look at that, guys. 1 in 100 for £4. Thank you very much. So we're down to the top 3. And if you've been following my channel, you know my top 3. But they're such classic characters. This is Invincible Iron Man. Issue 55 is my number 3 book of the year. Looks stunning in this Mylar. It's got a bit of spine roll, but you can't tell from the front. I would like to get this pressed and slabbed one day. This is obviously the first appearance of Thanos, who was in Infinity War movie, and is of course going to be in the Endgame movie. And I don't believe he's going to be finished there either. It's also the first appearance of one of my favourite Guardian of the Galaxy member. First appearance of Drax the Destroyer, who has me rolling with laughter at times. He was in the Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2 movies and Infinity War, and of course will be in Endgame. It's also the first appearance of Star Fox, who is supposedly going to be in the Eternals film. It's also the first appearance of the Blood Brothers, Mentor, Kronos, and the Rocklights, who was an alien race. Thanos would next send the Controller to attack the Avengers in Captain Marvel issue 28. But like I say, first appearance of Thanos and Drax. Thank you very much. I paid at the time, still my record, £200 for that. It wasn't cheap, guys. but I was allowed to pay it off in installments. A book I used to see at cons for three to 500. Never thought I'd ever own one. Delighted. Up next, another book I never thought I'd own, and this is high grade, guys. This is probably a 6.5 to 7, maybe a 7.5 on a good day. I paid 140 for this, but I think it's worth every penny. I think when this character comes, and he will do at some point, because this book is so pricey, even without being in the live action so far. And this is Werewolf by Night, issue 32. What a stunning book. And look at this grade of this cover, guys. Now there's a little tiny nick on the back cover, but guys, that's a sweet looking book. Couple of ticks. Corners are sharp. This is obviously the first appearance of Moon Knight, Mark Spector. It's also the first appearance of Frenchie, who was Jean-Paul Duchamp. And the interesting thing is Mark Spector's first name is misspelled in this issue as Mark with a K instead of a C. There's a pence copy, but even pence copies of these books go for silly money. I think this book in this grade is easily a £300 plus book. Delighted to own it. And my final number one of the year, you'll know it by now. I never thought I'd own this. I just couldn't believe it. I was allowed to pay it off in installments from my friend at Planet All Stars for £145. Still can't believe it. Tales of Suspense, issue 52, guys. And this is, again, a high grade book. When I say high grade, it's mid grade. It's 4 to a 5 easily. Possibly higher. Possibly higher. Could be, I'm very harsh at grading. This could be a 6. This is obviously the first appearance of Black Widow. There she is, look at her. Natasha Romanoff, who's in Iron Man 2, The Avengers, Captain America Winter Soldier, Age of Ultron, Civil War, Infinity War. It's also the Death and Destruction of Crimson Dynamo 1, Death and Destruction of Crimson Dynamo 2. And it's a pence copy, but again, even pence copies. This book for me, again, is well over £300 in this grade. I paid 145. That's my top 25 books of the year, guys. I thought I've done pretty well. I'm hoping to beat it this year. I'm going for big boy books. I'm cutting back on new issues. I've already got my first big boy book. I picked up Amazing Spider-Man 50 just last week, the first Kingpin. I'm going to have some great books to show this year, guys. Stay with me. I'm at 558 subscribers. Thanks to everybody for making it a great year last year for me collecting. Take care. That's Daz over now. Bye for now. Bye-bye.